This is a tactical analysis video focusing on how the back four stay compact and stay in line. Staying compact is pivotal to being in a successful back four. You have to be able to close the gaps between your four players. You have to have that invisible rope, as they say. So if the back four have to move across the pitch, they do it together, not one at a time and not stretching the back four. Likewise, the other way, the whole unit of the back four moves across. If one of the back four closes down the opponent on the ball, the other three keep that line together. They become a back three at that point, and they're covering and supporting their teammate who's closed the ball down. If you consider the defensive tracks of the back four, the nearer they get to their own goal, the more compact they should be, because they're prioritising defending the goal and preventing shots on the goal. As they move up the pitch though, that compactness might ease a little bit as they want to cover a wider surface area, but they'll still be relatively compact while the opposition have the ball. I'll be using footage now from a Manchester Football League Division 5 Reserves Division game to try and highlight some of the key principles for staying compact and staying in line. Despite not being in possession of the ball here, the red back line are spread across nearly the full width of the pitch. They're not compact. If they were like the red line shows now as a 4, they would make it more difficult for the blue team to play. In this next clip, you see 3 of the back 4 are compact but on the opposite side of the pitch to the ball, making this massive gap between the left centre back and the full back. This leaves the blue team with a huge area to play into potentially. Here the red defence are dropping towards their own goal, but the full back is showing them inside when he should be shown the other way. The gaps between the back 4 are too large as well. If you look, the right back and right centre back could be tucked across even more. Even the midfield here, 2 of the midfielders are actually recovering really slowly, walking back, meaning there's more pressure on the back 4 and it's making it harder for them to stay compact. At first it seems like they've got away with this, but you can see now as the play develops, it caused the red team problems, all because of that initial lack of compactness and recovery running from the midfield as well. Here we see a much better example of the back 4 staying compact. All 4 of them have slid across to the right hand side of the pitch, not too many gaps. The right centre back and right full back both get pulled out the back line here, which is not ideal, but the other 2 defenders stay in line, there's not much space there, and they win possession back. To help your defenders stay compact on the pitch, a clear vocabulary between them is needed, something that's concise and allows the defence to communicate under pressure. These 5 simple one-word shouts can help your defenders work together more cohesively. Drop is for when the ball is travelling towards your goal and the whole unit need to drop together. Hold is for when you need the unit to stay exactly where they are and to wait for the next moment in play. Out is used when the ball's travelled a fair distance up the pitch and you want the whole back 4 to move out as quick as possible. For compactness, a particularly important shout is slide. You want the whole back 4 to slide to the side across the pitch and keep that compactness still. Up is used when you want the back 4 to make a measured advance up the pitch. An important additional point to say about the shout of drop is that your back 4 need to get used to looking for triggers to drop. The player on the ball for the opposition will give certain signs that you might be about to play the ball in behind, and that's where your back 4 need to read that and drop together at the right moment. We're now going to look at the importance of staying in line. Being compact will only be effective if the defenders each know the positioning of their teammates. Some of the benefits for staying in line: well, first of all, you'll know where each other is. Your back 4 will be aware without even having to look. Secondly, you'll be able to utilise the offside law, a massive advantage for the defence if used correctly. And thirdly, you'll be able to control the forward movement, make them work for their space. In this example now, you see 3 of the back 4 are in a diagonal line, not a straight line. And the 4th defender is actually stood behind the whole back line, so you've got 4 lines of defence instead of 1. As the ball is challenged for, it now becomes a diamond shape. You've got 3 lines of defence. Now, of course, giving cover and support to your teammates is very important, but the centre-back's run here could actually be done at the last second to give cover without conceding ground. In the example here, the wingers and the number 10 for the blue team could be played onside and could make a goal scoring opportunity with a run, and some of the back line for the Reds would be completely unaware of how they'd stayed onside. Here is another clip of the red team basically in a diamond shape, challenging for the ball and then being put under more pressure by the blue team. What's notable in this example is just the sheer distance between the two centre-backs as the ball's challenged for. They can't help each other out, they can't really cover each other properly, and they can't play an offside. The confusion this then causes when the ball bounces between the four players is obvious here. It then takes a good reactionary bit of defending by the centre-back to clear the danger. More of the same here really. The shape of the back four leads to confusion, leads to a misjudgment, and causes the red team no end of trouble. Next we see a situation where the fullback's been dragged in to a position where he's not been able to win the ball. The centre-back is also drawn in as well, and now they're on the opposite sides to each other, leaving a big gap on this right channel, which the Blues just about fail to exploit. In these next two examples, we'll see how if both centre-backs get drawn out of the back line at the same time, it leaves a huge gap in the middle. You notice as well here that the back four as a whole are all very close, tight up to the ball. They've not dropped at the right moment. So there's a huge gap there, which the Blues here exploit, and the Reds are lucky not to concede really. In this second example, first one centre-back challenges for the ball. When the ball's flicked on by the striker, the second centre-back goes for it, but then follows the ball in. Now both centre-backs are out of the back line, a big gap between the full-backs and a big space in behind, and it's only a good save by the keeper that prevents a goal. Here we see how important it is that the centre-backs are working in tandem, working in harmony, and that they know each other's positioning. They cross over here, one trying to play the offside and one trying to cover at the same moment, and the Blues, if they played the ball through here, would have had a very good goal-scoring opportunity. In this example, we see three of the back four are actually quite compact. They're quite high up and there's a gap in behind, but they're compact and tight to the ball. The right back's a long way away from that, and he's not getting covered by the right winger, so they're not aware of where he is at this point. The left back then tries to play a last second offside as he steps here, but the player's not given offside, goes through and nearly scores. Good save by the keeper again. If you look from another angle here, you'll see why he's not offside. First of all, that's marginal anyway, but the right back is actually deeper, and that keeps the player onside and allows the opportunity. The importance of the back four being aware of each other's positioning is made clear here. To finish with, I'd like to look at some positive examples of the red team being compact and staying in line. You see all four of the players here have stood across the pitch, they're compact, there's not many gaps in between them, and ultimately the blue team end up losing possession here. Here the left back's been pressing the ball, but behind him his teammates are much more in line. Would like them to be more compact really, to close out the space even more, but still it looks a much better line between them. As the play progresses here, we see the fullback tucks back into the back line, which is good. This allows the centre-backs, nice and close together, to be aware of each other. And when the ball's played in then, one of them can go and nip the ball away, knowing the other player is there to cover. In this final clip, I really like how the back four are now in alignment. They're staying in line with each other. This will make it harder for the Blues to find space in behind them or in between them. Now, the left centre-back here as well is also asking for the back line to slide across, so they're coordinated now. They're aware of each other's positioning. The challenge they have, though, is that the Blues are all playing in front of them. They're not really marking their men, so they're marking the space. Do they want to now move up 10-15 yards, be more aggressive, get nearer to their own midfield and try and win the ball back sooner? But as it is, the patience here is rewarded. The ball is won back in midfield, and then they're able to launch a counter-attack. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you found it useful. Here are some of the main coaching points from it.